Hey guys, we're near Austin, Texas for this big shoot. It's a virtual production, and the advantage of that is you don't have to be on location. So normally you need like permits, you need the cost, you have timing, you have to worry about the natural lighting if it's outdoors. This, you can fake it all. You can build the whole thing in Unreal Engine and After Effects, which is what we did, display it on a world behind you and this giant LED screen, and then act in front of it, do as many takes as we need to, change the lighting if we need to, you get the correct spill on everybody. But it's tricky, it's challenging to light. You can't fix anything as easily in post, and we only have one day. We only have today to finish it, so let's see if we can do that. So one day might be a slight over-exaggeration. While we still have only one day to shoot everything, we were able to get a few hours of access to the studio the evening before in order to prep what we could. We unloaded gear, we set up lights, built the camera, fired up the LED wall, and built some props. Anything we could do in the small window we had in order to make the day of production go smoother. For this particular project, we can't shoot on location, so the challenge is to see if we can recreate the physical space virtually, and it doesn't look like it's going to be easy. We sent over a mock ad to the client that we'll try to be recreating, and each scene that we'll be filming in the day is going to bring a new challenge. We'll start with some interior scenes in a skater room, and then we'll level it up to try to fake an outdoor scene. After that, we transition to nighttime shots where we'll have to light our scene without looking like we lit it artificially. And finally, we'll need to recreate a storm. And if all that weren't enough, we have a second shoot going on simultaneously. We're gonna be setting up with a green screen, a treadmill, makeup, and well, we'll break that one down to a different day. For now, let's just see if we can pull this off.
It's really impressive to be here in Stray Vista. We were able to film 180 degrees without having to flip your set, which has been amazing.
So one of the weird things that you have to kind of think about when you do virtual production is that you have to pre-plan a lot. It's not the typical way that I usually make my videos because I'm usually on green screen and I can get away with a lot in post. On this, we have to do a lot of planning with the client and figure out where they want us to put, build the environment. But it gives us the opportunity to get in spaces where we typically can't.
Here, we have our rough shot list, and it pretty much just gives us a visual reference of each shot. But the fun part is that we get to make it our own, which is really great. And it helps keep us on schedule to make sure that we haven't missed anything.
Hey, here we are. This is Scott and Travis here on set at Stray Vista in Dripping Springs. We're filming for Lifecycle Power, who is a power delivery company for oil and gas and infrastructure across the nation. And it's very hard to get into a substation or into a skater room where they control substations to deliver power when the power goes out in cities around the country. And since we didn't get approval to do that with the city, we are recreating it ourselves in virtual production.
This right here, we're kind of emulating what it would look like if an operator just saw all the grid going out.
Yeah, so Stuart is in what is called a skater room, which is where they control the power pretty much for a city, the power delivery for a city. He sees the power go out in a neighborhood because the power coming into the substation has been cut by a hurricane or a tornado knocking over a tree and knocking out power lines. And Lifecycle Power is there in the substation ready to deliver power and then be sent out to those neighborhoods who lost power. And that's what they're doing. That's what we're filming today in the scatter room.
I do feel like that's one of the really cool advantages of virtual production versus green screen is like you can, it's for the talent. Like the talent has something real to react to. Yeah. They can see the environment. They see what they're pointing at, looking at. Yeah. And they can kind of, even like the client, if they're on set as well, they can kind of see the vision. Whereas like green screen, it's more of like, I trust you.
Yeah, it's I trust you. I saw the storyboard. Yeah. Greg's great with storyboards and using AI to help the client really kind of solidify what the vision of the project is. But being able to see this, in real life on screen, it's, some clients took their breath away to see like, oh wow, we were actually there filming, and it's like, it's just really cool to see. So.
There are certain challenges to lighting with virtual and like controlling spill off the display, but you do have a lot like infinite takes. If you're doing something outside or outdoors, you have to be reliant on the weather, the sun, the clouds like going in and out, but this, you have a controlled environment and that's a lot more useful.
Luckily, the studio has so many lights mounted on the grid above our frame. And so I'm just dialing in like, all right, we need to bump these up or we need to change the color temperature on the scale.
So while we've been on set, we've come up with ideas of how to change the environment to better suit what we're trying to film. And it's great because we can go render out something in After Effects, then throw it up on the screen and we're ready to go.
I think Greg ahead of time built the whole like city in Unreal Engine, right? So we could just play this on the big screen, which is a really cool environment. Like you can make it 3D, move everything around, move the lighting, move the time of day, customize it really to how you like it.
So the biggest challenge came when we were trying to film at the location we couldn't film at, which is the substation, which usually substations are located in neighborhoods and cities with trees and buildings off in the distance and clouds and the sun rays coming in. A little different than the scatter room. The scatter room was much easier to film because we were just using the screen as a screen. Now we're using the volume as a real world 3D environment that has miles going off in the distance that you can see with clouds in the cityscape. And trying to emulate the real world sun or even the rain had a lot of tricky aspects to it.
The benefit of having all of these lights already rigged up top helps us kind of cast down and give us that fake sun look. But also we have like a really massive source on the other side. It's the Aperture 1200X. And I have that blasting towards talent to really cast like a hard light. And I think it's at like 20% output. And that's like perfect.
You know, you'll shift where the sun is coming from because we can't put a key light, hard source maybe behind them. So we shifted it over to the side because we could get it out of frame and vice versa. So it's a lot of give and take and, you know, what can we do to make this look as real as possible? Getting that to blend with the background is the hardest part. It's making your subject who's not in the 3D environment that you built look like he's in the 3D environment that you built. And it takes a whole team from the 3D designers who are changing the lighting for us in the 3D environment. And then we also have our grips and DP who are, coming in and really helping us balance, between those two.
Other than just that strong 1200X source that's blasting to mimic the sun rays, we have like a huge 8x8 ultra bounce that's in front of talent to really like kind of push that light up into his face. And also I have another light on the left side of him to kind of like give a little more. And there could be some sun bouncing off these metal like infrastructures or like these trailers that they have on site for the scene. And then having just more wrap, kind of like adjusting the height, making sure that they're kind of like off center and out of whack, because like when you're out there in the sun, it's not truly perfect, but you get like different shadows. So having each light on like different settings, tilted at a different angle to like bounce on the ground, to like uplift their face, really helps. Invest in large sources if you guys do this type of work. It's a lifesaver.
So the shoot is going pretty well so far. I think we've gotten some really good shots. It does look pretty convincing to real life. It just takes some trickery in terms of like the lighting, getting everything, the fill just right. But I think it's going well so far.
We are doing one of these scenes where the substation workers are arriving and they're hopping out of the vehicle and they are getting out their tools, getting ready for the workday. So it's a high challenge, daytime shots. It's a whole different ballgame when it comes to composition, lighting, the works with all this. It's not like some 3D simulated gaming world where you can kind of do whatever you want. You really have to focus on like those highlights, where your blacks and your contrast levels sit at, how everything actually like directionally makes sense. So that's where Bruce here has been doing a fantastic job bringing in his 1200, give us a whole lot of sunlight, giving us a whole lot of directionality, matching those shadows across the board.
I'm sure there will be reflections that we're gonna have to like figure out, like why is this hot spot on the truck, but it also depends on what lens and focal length and like angle they're filming at. So until we get camera up, we won't know. It's nice, man. Love the studio work.
Now storm's in, vines falling, power's out. Right.
So then
guy has to drive up on location. Right. So technically, Duncan, daytime is done.
For now.
So it is very dark in here right now. We are currently doing a nighttime scene, so we killed the day, and I've been told this is actually Bruce's problem to solve, so.
Yeah, which is always a challenge to light for nighttime.
Especially with like, it's supposed to look authentically like moonlight. I'm not sure if this camera is showing accurately, but we look pretty purple, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. It looks really good on the camera feed though.
But you don't want it to be like, obviously, intentionally lit to where it's so noticeable. You want it to feel natural, so a lot of like bounce light is what I like to do, like bounce the light to like have it spread and lift the ambience.
So now we're not only mimicking night, but we are trying to mimic a whole rainstorm slash hurricane. We got Bruce practicing his lightning. If you are sensitive to flashing lights, I do apologize. We got a little pool over here because we might spray the truck and get some water droplets. Greg is debating whether he wants to do this in post with visual effects and get the wipers and visual effects, or if we want to just do it practically now. I'm always team practical, but Greg is very good at VFX. He loves it. So we'll see what that ends up being. But here's for making a convincing storm.
Challenge is now, I've never shot a night scene in my life that is on a virtual production wall. So trying to figure out how to dial in timing with the strikes, and then also figure out if I can move camera. But I know the VFX team would rather me on this budget probably keep camera locked off so we can put some simulated rain in and go from there. So it's interesting, but difficult. But so far it's looking kind of cool.
So for this particular scene, we do want to get one practical effect with the talent standing outside the truck, rain coming down and like off the brim of his hat. So for that, we are gonna have Greg stand on a pelican case. He's gonna actually spray the guy with a mister, and we're gonna get real water droplets like just running off the brim of his hat, like hitting him looking up to the sky. And that should help sell the visual effects more when we blend in this practical, getting this close-up shot of just the real water hitting him, blending in with the fake rain that we're gonna simulate. And I think this will help sell our fake storm pretty well. This guy's being a super good sport about being sprayed with water.
12A, take one, marker.
And action. Thanks everybody for all your help today. I really do appreciate it. It's been like a dream for me to get in here and actually start doing some stuff on virtual production. So thanks and thank you. Now you're on camera.
Okay, we just wrapped. I think a lot of the shots came out really good from what we could see on the monitor. We'll have to see what we can piece together and what Greg can do in post. He's a wizard in post.
I was really surprised at how well the daytime shots looked. The highlights and everything looked really believable. So I'm really excited there. Still learning how to do lighting shots. So I will see what it looks like in post.
You're a wizard in post though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, it was good. And you know, the team did excellent today and I'm really proud of everybody. So that's what matters.